guys, it is Gaz from 4Games Apocalypse here, and this chair is pissing me off, and it's E3 next week, so I thought I'd make a little vloggy thing. For most people know, I made that little vlog before about like all the channel stuff and any issues that like I felt like I had to get off my chest because I want to be honest with you guys. So this one's going to be slightly more lighthearted. E3 is coming up next week. At the time of recording, it's the 8th of June. Looking down at my clock, down in the corner. It's the 8th of June at the moment, and this fucking webcam controller is pissing me off now. But E3 is coming around. It's the 14th to the 16th, but there's also some stuff happening on the Monday, which is the 13th. So I thought, why not do like a little predictions thing? So, some people who might know me, I've or know about things like that, at least followed the blog maybe last year around E3 time. I did I tried to keep up with the blog, and it was quite difficult for me, so I was writing as much as I can about what was going on, mainly around the Bethesda conference and the Microsoft conference. And I always like to watch, or at least, if not when they're happening, at least quite soon afterwards, and don't check any news sites, because I want at least everything to come out saying that I've seen it all before, you know, because then it's just, I was like, oh, this is the announcement that's been seen, and, oh, great. It's not really it's not really that great, you know. Looking at just the news sites. This is why I always like to watch the conferences as they go, and I think this year I'm gonna actually do something a bit different. I've always talked about it with people, but I've never have anything recorded about it. So I'm gonna do a predictions video. So these are gonna be my vague predictions for each of the conferences, and just anything else that comes around, because all the games will be announced at the conferences. We've already had a couple announced. For example, Watch Dogs 2 has been announced by the time of this recording. The world reveal hasn't happened yet. We need to watch that. And Injustice 2 was announced, which I didn't see coming, to be honest, but looking at the trailer, and I'll make sure to have links to trailers and stuff that are released in the description below, and it looks fucking sweet. It looked really cool. I loved it. Like, it didn't really show off much. It mainly showed off the character design, I think, because the heroes in there were Batman, Superman, The Flash, Aquaman, and Supergirl. So, you know, and they all look pretty sweet. They all had like armor sets that like kind of went onto their character. So there was I'm looking forward to see what comes out of E3. But I think it's about the right time to make a prediction video. Hence why it's the week before. So you got some time just to see what I say now. I'll probably make another one closer to the time, seeing what has happened in between that bracket, and also make vlogs the day of the conferences, and just go and just be like, right, okay, this has happened, this is my reaction to it, that kind of thing. Because, you know, looking at it from the developer kind of point of perspective, there are a few things which, like, oh look, this thing's happened, that's actually not that great, and, you know, I can kind of throw that out there, kind of be idealistic and, you know, that kind of thing. So first up in the list is Square Enix. Square Enix is doing a specific, I don't know if it's a conference per se, but from what I've seen here, it's happening on, let's see, it's actually happening today. So I don't know what that is. I think it's just to do with E3. I think it says here it's to do with Deus Ex on the schedule. So I'm just gonna ignore that, because if it's just gonna be about Deus Ex, there's no point covering it, you know? There's already too much Deus Ex stuff going on about Mankind Divided anyway, so, you know, fuck it. Right. So the first one really up on the list is EA. Right. EA have got their conference coming up, and I have a feeling there's not going to be that much new stuff showing off, considering all the new stuff was either shown off already, in my opinion, or was shown off last year and released last year, and they need to try and show off something to kind of keep it going, because Battlefront, from what I've heard, is pretty much dead. Considering the fact that the game came out, the Season Pass came out. I need to turn this fan on, take this fucking hat off, Jesus. Oh. My locks. Right, there we go. Right, the Battlefront came out, and it was fun. I mean, I still have it. Haven't played it, because there's no fucking point to. The problem is with Battlefront is that it came up with such a high price as well as a season pass, which was necessary. That's not good practice. Yes, it sold because I was working in a GameStop, in a game shop as the thing was fucking released, and we had to sit there and tell everyone, look, you can get, you need to play online, you need to have PS Plus or Xbox Live to play it, or at least a decent internet connection. You need to actually buy the game, and you have to get the fucking season pass for it to be worth a goddamn. But the first expansion didn't come out for 3 months. I think it was 3, maybe 4. But no one's going to shell out £100 for a game and some stuff that they might not even like. The problem is with the season pass is that it doesn't add anything straight away. It's like, oh, you've already bought all the DLC, but how am I know it's going to be good? What if it's fucking terrible? Then I would have wasted all that money, But I digress. Okay, from the conference at least, what we're going to see is I'm going to be expecting something related to Battlefront, hence by my rant. I'm expecting something from Battlefront. Just to see what happens. I think they might bring out and at least have a decent trailer for a new expansion, like a big expansion, similar to the Endgame expansion for Battlefield 4, which actually had the terrain changing and quite dynamic changes, that kind of thing. However, to be honest, I think anything related to Battlefront will get shadowed over by the fact that Battlefield 1 will have. I'm saying gameplay. It's going to be fucking gameplay. And there'll be a demo on the floor, considering the fact it's coming out later this year. They've kept it under wraps for a while, which, to be honest, is quite surprising. It came very out of left field. And I like the look of it, because it's all World War One. And, I me being a history nerd in some respects, I do like that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm just hoping it's not going to go the same way as Battlefront, and that everyone's going to stop it. Just not play it. Battlefield 4, people still play religiously. I know, because I've been back on it every so often, and it is still fun. There's still servers. Battlefront didn't have the features that Battlefield 4 had. And it was a shame. It was a really big shame. And I think that what they're going to do with Battlefield 1 is say, oh look, it's all the stuff from Battlefield 4, but in World War 1. Go for that kind of thing. And that might not be a bad idea. I think it'll probably be the best thing for it. But it's not exciting. It's not things that we've seen before. We've seen it all before, but we have not seen anything new. We need something new. So I think there's going to be Battlefield 1. Some people have been saying, I've got Kotaku open on my other screen, and I use this for most of the news things that I get to, because it's fairly honest. And they're saying here, and I've seen a couple things maybe on Reddit and just around places, usually on Twitter, that they're looking at stuff possibly for Mass Effect, Andromeda, which would be really cool. I'd love to see something new for the Mass Effect series. I actually like 3. I didn't really play much of it, because I didn't really have it for very long. I just kind of had it. I think I rented it or something, I don't know. But I didn't really play it for very long. And then, it just kind of fell out of sync at that point. But everyone was like, oh, the multiplayer was fun. The actual game was good, which I would agree with. But again, everyone's like, oh, the ending. But the thing is, with Mass Effect Andromeda, if they can lead on from the ending of Mass Effect 3 and make a really cool game out of it, then people will look back at that and it's like, well, it all makes sense now. And for people, this game came out in 2012. Pretty sure it was 2012. I don't think I need a spoiler warning for say that the fact that Shepard dies, regardless of what option you choose. But I think it's the canon option, is that you kill the Reapers. They all die. Shepard sacrifices himself, and the Normandy crash lands on a unknown planet, supposedly without anything, and all the Mass Effect things have gone. And Andromeda is the next. I think it's the next sun, or so Alpha Centauri is the next system next to us, but I think it's kind of pushing out that galaxy quite a lot more. It's the edge, beyond the edge of the rim that they've actually got in the canon of Mass Effect. And there's lots of there's N7, there's lots of that stuff in some of the images that we've seen. So, you know, I'm hoping that there's going to be okay. I'm hoping that there's going to be something about it. I want to know more. Loads of people just want to know more, but again, executives and people like was like, well, let's wait until E3 and really tease the bastards. Maybe we even get a release date. Who knows? Knowing EA, I think a release date is likely. Because as soon as they show off a game, they usually come with a release date. They're very good at keeping things under wraps. So I think maybe, yeah, a release date might be, you know, something might come out of that. I think the only thing that won't get a release date is any new IP that they bring out in relation to BioWare. Because BioWare might come out with something new. I'm hoping they do. And there's been talks of Visceral, because they've had access to the Star Wars license as well. So I'd like to see what comes out from that. Because considering 1313 died, you know, I'd like to see something else come out from that. And I think if they do show off any new games, I mean, the sports games I do not give two fucks about. There's going to be a new FIFA, there's going to be a new Madden, and they're going to talk about how emotionally connected you are to these fucking slabs of meat. It's like, oh look at our texture models, and look at how realistic the sweat is when they come down their face. Oh, no, I don't give two fucks about that. Show me the games. Show me the games that I'm going to be dedicating about maybe a good few hours a week to and probably making videos about. No one gives a fuck about FIFA. The only people who give a fuck about FIFA are not watching the conference. They're waiting until they go into their into their local shop and say, oh look, a new FIFA's coming out. And everyone knows it's going to be coming out. You know, that's sorry for my rant, but you know, that kind of thing just irks me a little bit. But I think, yeah, going back to BioWare, I think have got something coming. I'm really hoping they do, because the fact that they haven't come out with something in a while, I'm really hoping it's Star Wars related. My heart of hearts would say Knights of the Old Republic 3. But they won't do that because the Old Republic's still going. And it's a good thing it's still going. Maybe they'll say something for that. But I think maybe something original. Because Dragon Age Inquisition, I think, was a good send-off. I don't think they should make any more. But the thing is, if they end up working on Mass Effect and something else, I don't think it would pan out very well for either team. Because that really puts a lot of strain on like the development staff. If there's two games splitting the entire company in half, you know, workflow kind of falls back in that kind of sense. And I think BioWare might be able to get away with it. But the thing is, if they've got EA breathing down their necks, it's going to be a very stressful work environment. So I'm hoping that there's no two games coming out at the same time. But we'll see. We'll see. And then, yeah, Visceral, I think, need to come out with a game because I don't want that company to die. They did really well with Dead Space. Dead Space 3 was not great, considering what they turned it into, and that was because EA was telling them what they had to do. And then, like, for people who are watching, from a programmer, from people who know the industry, right, it is never the developer's fault. It's always the publisher. At least with AAA. If it's a small game, then it's usually the developer's fault because they've digged. Right, but the only reason Dead Space 3 became what it was is because EA had told them to do that. The publishers say, you need to have this kind of game to fit this criteria and to be released by this point. And here's the budget. And there's not much they can do to break out from that. So if they said, oh, you need to make it more shooter-like because that's what the kids like. It's a fucking it's an 18 rated game. No one cares. Everyone wants a horror game. Dead Space 2 did really well because it was still a horror game. It was a good blend of horror and action, and then it just went all action and I didn't really care that much at that point. I played it for maybe 4 hours, maybe 5, and just got sick of it. So, you know, hopefully, I mean, if something comes out with Star Wars, I'm hoping that Visceral gets a bit more free reign on it. But we'll see. Right, next on the list is Bethesda.
Got complex, cock it and pull it.
Right, Bethesda. I don't know why the fuck you've got another conference. The only reason you had a conference last time, the first time you had a conference, was because Fallout 4 was a thing and you had enough traction. Then Dishonored 2 was announced during the same thing, and Doom was showed off a lot more. We've already known Doom was coming at that point, but it was nice to see a bit more. So the conference was worthwhile watching. However, this time I don't know. Because Dishonored 2 has been announced. We need to see more of that. I think showing that off would be a good thing. Maybe a bit more for Fallout 4. Maybe just something. Because Far Harbor just came out. I'd like to see more. Because of the fact that I haven't played Far Harbor. I really need to. But, you know, something a bit more would be great. And, you know, looking at it, maybe another Elder Scrolls. Because I was talking to Jordan, who was on the podcast with me before, and we were talking about, and he was saying, it was like, why? I was just said to him, like, why do you think Bethesda's got their own fucking conference? They think they have something big to show off. And he goes, maybe new Elder Scrolls? And I'm like, maybe. The thing is, the Elder Scrolls Online was so hyped for such a long time, and it came out to mediocre reviews, and the player base is still there because it's on a console, so it's not that much. But the thing is, Final Fantasy XIV has a better player base, and it's still on a console and on PC, and doesn't need to be on Xbox One. And I think hopefully they're gonna keep it going, but because it's ZeniMax Online and not Bethesda's team. Because ZeniMax is the parent company of Bethesda, Machine Games, and all that kind of branch of things. id as well is owned by ZeniMax. And ZeniMax Online, their online department is a fracture of people who worked on the Elder Scrolls series and from the other companies to come together to make the Elder Scrolls Online and keep that going. And because of the fact that that's its own team, and that's their own company themselves managing that game, I think it'll be fine. I think they can just kind of leave it to do their, like, they can do their own thing. So, oh look, a new expansion. Cool. Don't really care. I think when it comes to the conference, I think we're going to see a bit more of their card game. Because, it's the online card game that they had to rival Hearthstone, and RuneScape's even got one now. Elder Scrolls Legends, I think it was called. Because that'd be... I need to know perspective. It would be like up here. It would be above my microphone. But yeah, it'll be that. There'll be... what else would be? I think it's just going to be an update on Dishonored, maybe something for Doom. Doubtful for Doom, to be honest. But Doom, the thing is, Doom was fantastic. I think there needs to be a bit more in it, though. Stuff for maybe some stuff for Fallout, maybe something like a big expansion, that kind of thing. Maybe Shivering Isles level of expansion, that kind of thing. I think Far Harbor was similar, but you know. And then last thing, if they actually release anything related to Elder Scrolls, anything, it will be a really big surprise, considering of how long they claimed they were working on Fallout for, to come out and say, right, actually, hang on, here's Elder Scrolls. I'm going to be sitting here like, well, hang on. You started work on Fallout 4 as soon as you finished Fallout 3, according to your claims. And most of the people who worked on Skyrim worked on Fallout 4. So when did you start working on a new Elder Scrolls? Did you do it, have a small team working on it after 5? Which, I mean, it makes sense. But, right, Elder Scrolls Skyrim came out on the 11th of November 2011, because it was a 111111. So, I think, at least from that point of view, piss off Facebook, I think that maybe they'll be able to get away with it, but I have a feeling we won't see any. We might either get something this year or next year, but I don't think they can pull the same shit twice. Technically 3 times, because they did the same thing with Fallout, with Elder Scrolls. Skyrim as well. They showed off the trailer, they showed off the trailer showing everything, and then gave the release date at the Xbox conference that came out that year. And I remember that. I did actually watch that. So, you know, it's possible, but we'll see. Again, this is just a prediction. I don't think they will, but it'd be nice. I'd like to see what comes out, and I kind of keep trying to make sure there's space over here. Right, okay. Kodakawa, I don't know why they've got their own specific conference. They're a Japanese developer. The guys who did they did Natural Doctor and a couple of other things. So I don't think we're going to worry about them. So now we get to the big boys. We've got this next one's got Microsoft, the PC gaming, Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Ubisoft annoyingly have got that little time slot in the middle. I'd love to be able to pair them with the front, but I'd rather go conference by conference, to be honest. Right, so next on the list is Microsoft.
These games make up what I believe is the greatest games lineup in Xbox history.
Right, Microsoft. I think something's gonna come out. I think they're gonna. They had a really good lineup of games last year. There was Recore, there was Fallout 4, there was Gears. I'd like to see more about Gears, considering that's coming out this year. Maybe some hardware announcements, because the thing is, everyone was saying like, oh, the Xbox 1.5 or something like that, or the Neo. Well, I think that was the PlayStation 1, but like the slightly basically like the 360 Slim that came out. And you say, it's like, right, this console's coming out, it's a new version of it, and you can buy it right now. Okay, right, fairs? You know, I think that's possible. And because of the fact that they've got Windows 10 integration now, I think they're going to mix the Xbox stuff with some PC stuff, I think. Because of the fact that they're basically both using Windows 10. Well, they got Windows 10 and then they've got the Xbox, and you can play Xbox games on the PC. I think they're gonna, because of the fact that they're just kind of making them closer and closer together, I think that's what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna do something related to that. And according to here, let's see, they've got Scalebound from Platinum, which I completely forgot about, which looks fucking cool. Don't know if that was delayed, but I really want to see a bit more about that. There's Crackdown 3. We've seen nothing about Crackdown 3 at all. I think there was the alpha demo, trailer thing that came out during the conference time, around this time last year. But that's it. We've seen nothing. And I've got really high hopes because I really like Crackdown. Crackdown was fun. Gears 4. Yep, need to see a bit more about that. And Dead Rising 4, which was supposedly leaked. I think Dead Rising 4 is going to come out. I think it's going to be a thing. I don't think they're going to leave it where it was. But I'm just hoping they take the criticisms that were used on Dead Rising 3 and pass them on. Because Dead Rising 2 was probably the pinnacle of the series, hence why they made the spin-offs. Like Off the Record and Cold Case and the other one. In Case Zero and I think it was Cold Case? I don't know. But I'm hoping they take the criticism on, and it looks really good. I'm hoping for that. But again, it was a leak. We don't know. What I'm also hoping for is something bigger related to Halo. I want to see a bit more Halo stuff, considering Halo 5 kind of came out and has done very little. I don't think there's been map packs or anything. I mean, I haven't been following Halo because of the fact I don't have an Xbox One yet. I will probably get an Xbox One at some point because of all these games coming out. And they're going to show off lots of indie shit. I'm really looking forward to seeing all that indie stuff. Because, they're always fun little games or something that has a really deep meaning. And I think they need to, because the whole ID and Xbox thing, I think they need to promote that more. I don't think that's going to really, I think that's going to be about it, to be honest. I think there's not going to be anything new. I think with Microsoft, it's going to be, again, it's going to be an update. It's going to be like, this is still coming out, guys. Here's some more info about it. Maybe, I think the only thing that will be exciting is, as the article says here, codename Scorpio, which is the upgraded Xbox. If that comes out, that'd be cool. If they do what they did with the F360 Sim, like, oh look, you can buy it right now. Okay, fair enough. I think that'd be like the only main shock. But hopefully I'm wrong. I'm hoping to be wrong. I'd like to see loads of exciting shit and something. I want to see something special, Considering Fable Legends died, and that was there for quite a few years actually, showing off. I'm hoping something else will come out. I'm hoping they can reclaim themselves. So, Because, you know, when a game gets stuck in development hell, there's no one really that they can blame. It just happens. You know, due to was it bad management? Was the game just not progressing? Was it too big in scope? You know, it's better that they canned it, so they like another Duke Nukem didn't happen. But I don't think Lionhead should have gone down with it. But you know, these kind of thing happens in a very volatile industry like this. If a game comes out and it doesn't perform well and it doesn't get that many sales, then that's 3 years of the company gone. The 3 years of people's lives potentially just wasted because the game is just meh. And loads of people put their heart and soul into it because they're working on it. It's their thing. But you know, if it comes out and it's just shit or doesn't get a great review score, doesn't do well sales-wise, they're going to get punished by the publisher. And it's no one's fault. It's not their fault. You know, if there's a publisher involved, it's usually the publisher's fault. But because they're the one putting the game out there, and, you know, there's not really anything you can do about it, you know? So, I think Bethesda and Microsoft might lead into each other again. So, well, like what they did with last year, but, you know, we'll see. Right, next on the list, I think is Ubisoft. Yeah, right, next one on the list is Ubisoft. Right, Ubisoft. It's going to be weird. It's going to be really weird, I think. The article brings up a good point. There's no Assassin's Creed this year. So there's no Assassin's Creed in the conference, which is like the main thing. But I think they're just going to be going on and on and on and on about either, like, Watch Dogs 2, as I've already mentioned. I think they're going to go on about a lot with that and show off, like, oh, look, this is this new thing. And I think that... Oh, South Park. Oh, yes, the South Park coming out. They did the Fractured Butthole. That's coming out. Ghost Recon was given trailers recently, I think, which looked pretty cool, actually. I do admit, it looked pretty cool. I keep checking this article because I'm not really sure what's coming out from Ubisoft at all. I don't remember a lot with Ubisoft. Let's see, For Honor, which looks really fucking cool. And an unannounced game they've said is multiplayer focused. And maybe get some other surprises. For Honor, I think, needs to come out. I really want to fucking play that game. That game looks badass as hell. It's got the developers seem really passionate. It looks like it's got like a really cool fighting style and a really cool concept, and I just hope it gets executed well. Because Chivalry did really well, hence why they're coming out with another game that's got a big twist on it. But I think there's more in the market for things like that. Anything unannounced? I have a feeling they're gonna do like a little game they did in the past and then blow it out of proportion. Because that's something Ubisoft likes to do. There'll be obviously like party games and things, but again, was Far Cry was Ubisoft? I'm pretty sure. Maybe another Far Cry. Considering the last one was Far Cry Primal, I think what they need to do is, because there was such a difference between Far Cry 2 and Far Cry 3, and little to no difference between 3 and 4, I think another big change is in order. You know, Far Cry 5, you know, Far Cry Primal was just Far Cry 4 with a different skin on it. It looked kind of cool, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't something that you can kind of keep feasting on. Far Cry 3 did that for quite a few people, and then Far Cry 4 was just more of the same. Just, it's fine tweaked. I think maybe something could come out about that, or just like murmurs. Maybe something with Disney, I don't fucking know. Because they did Epic Mickey. Fuck it, who knows? Again, I'm hoping it's not a small conference. I don't think it's going to be... I think they're going to come out with something big. I hope. I mean, that's what I think, anyway. I think something big's going to come out of it, as well as them talking about Watch Dogs 2. Or maybe we'll get a trailer and release date for Watch Dogs 2, and a release date for Ghost Recon. So, you know, things can happen. But yeah, you know, we'll have to see. We will have to see. Right, so the next one is Sony. Right. Okay, Sony is an interesting one. Because of the fact it got Horizon Zero Dawn, which was pushed back. There's a potential new thing for, like, something related to God of War, another God of War game, because I've been hearing lots of murmurings about that. Whether something's been announced or anything, I don't know. The PS 4.5, I think that was called the Neo, which it's not going to be a surprise because Microsoft's going to do it first and they're going to do it straight afterwards. PlayStation VR, I'd like to see more of, because of the fact that it looks like a good idea. I think it looks like a good entryway, but it's not going to beat things like the Vive, because you're still sitting down, you still got a controller in your hand, that kind of thing. So I think there's going to be a bit more about that. Let's keep seeing here. I think there's going to be a lot, because they didn't really announce that much last year. I think something's going to be announced this year. And considering what people have been saying about, say, about Rockstar, I think if anything's going to come out from Rockstar, it's going to be during the Sony conference. Considering the fact that a lot of the gameplay stuff for GTA 5 and other details came from the Sony conference. And I think if anything's going to happen, Rockstar will announce something during that. They might not appear on stage, but a trailer will just appear with any of the PS4, like PlayStation executives just saying about this game. Maybe Red Dead. It's probably going to be Red Dead. I'm really hoping it's Red Dead, because that would be fucking cool. I don't know why they're making another God of War, unless they change it so it's a complete revival of the franchise. Considering, yes, Kratos is great. Kratos is cool, but the thing is, we've done all the Greek gods a lot. There was 5 games. Let's see, God of War 1, 2, 3, Ghost of Sparta, Chains of Olympus. I think one more. Oh, Ascension. That was the other one. God of War Ascension. I think if they did another one, it would have to be a different locale and a different pantheon, and a story that a slightly revived story. But I'll have to see what happens with that. Final Fantasy VII's should have more information. But if Rockstar are gonna do anything, it's gonna be doing the PlayStation conference. I'm gonna say that now. That's my prediction. And maybe there'll be some other stuff coming out. Something cool, Or I'm just hoping this year doesn't turn into a buffer year. I really hope it doesn't turn into a buffer. Because if it just becomes a buffer and nothing really happens, it's going to be boring. There's nothing really going to be able to... there's nothing really that we can report on. There's nothing we can really talk about properly because there's not that much, Considering this is like the holy grail of news for gaming things over the year, because of all the games will be announced, all the ones will be shown off, that kind of thing. We'll be able to see all of that. So, if that's not there, it'd be a bit shit, It'd be a bit of a waste. The problem is you can't have an E3 every 2 years. You got to have something happening, so But yeah, I'm hoping for a bit more. I'm hoping that Sony's going to pull something out of their ass, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be really good. Right, last one on the list is Nintendo. Right, Nintendo, I have no fucking clue, to be honest. The article here says here, as well as a few people on around the gaming universe have said about, because the Nintendo NX isn't going to be shown off at E3, it's going to be something Zelda's going to be the main focus of this one, of their Treehouse presentation. And I think it'll be Zelda, Pokemon. Something Mario related? Probably not something big. Or maybe something big. Something similar to Super Mario Galaxy. Ooh. I'd love to see something like that. Because the fact that Super Mario Galaxy... Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, those kind of 3 were very unique in each in a different way. And then when the Wii kind of gained traction into the Wii U, there was Super Mario 3D Land and the 3D World, and it's kind of meh. because the fact it's just more of the same. I mean, for most people, it's probably a lot of fun. I don't doubt that. But I'd love to see the big open Mario game where you're going all to these different places and they're all weird and zany and that kind of thing, and collecting like this power stars or something like that. I'd love to see something like that. Maybe something to like. I always have updates about Smash because that's still going and there's a lot of support for Smash, which is good. So maybe a couple more characters, maybe some more amiibos. That would be cool. But Zelda Smash. I'm hoping for a Mario. I'm hoping for something related to Mario. And I've forgotten what the other one was now. I don't know. It's hard to kind of make a lot of these predictions when you're just like, I really don't know. Half the time, it's sometimes with some things, it's very obvious what's going to happen. But then other times, it's like, right, this might happen. We don't know. So, I don't know. It should be fine. It'll be fine, I think. But yeah. So Zelda, Mario, something related to Smash, Smash, amiibos, that kind of thing. I'm hoping for updates. But I'd love to see something new come from Mario, like a new thing, his new gimmick, instead of being all the old ones. Because Mario Maker was a lot of fun. There'll probably be some updates about Mario Maker as well, but I would love to see something new and big. Like a larger scale Mario game. So, who knows at this point. And I think that's going to be it. Everything else will be coming out as and when it will, and I'll make sure to be updating and vlogging and, well, doing things like this as it happens, because obviously I'm not there, but I can do what I can from here. For you guys, so you guys know. You guys know all that bit of it, like all the information, and then we can start having discussions, that kind of thing. So, make sure to leave a like on the video. Make sure to also subscribe for more content and for more E3 stuff. Stay updated. Check all the links in the description below. Leave a comment so we can start the discussion, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.